From Russia with Love is a 1957 spy thriller by British author Ian Fleming. It follows British secret agent Commander James Bond as he uncovers a plot by the Soviet agency SMERSH to frame him in a scandal and assassinate him. The novel is the fifth installment in Fleming's Bond series, which includes 12 novels and 2 short story collections. Bond's character has also been featured in authorized novels by 12 other writers, as well as in 26 films and a comic strip. The story begins with senior members of SMERSH, a covert Soviet agency, discussing their plan to redeem themselves after a series of public failures. They decide that a high-profile assassination would restore their standing with the Soviet government. Their target is James Bond, who has become an enemy of the state due to his previous interference in Soviet operations. A death warrant is issued, calling for Bond's ignominious death. SMERSH's chief strategist, Colonel Kronstein, and Colonel Rosa Klebb devise a scheme to trap Bond. They recruit a young cipher clerk in Istanbul, Corporal Tatiana Romanova, to pretend to defect to the British. Tatiana will claim to have fallen in love with Bond after seeing his photograph in a secret file and offer the British a highly coveted Spektor decoder, knowing the British will be eager to obtain it, despite doubts about her true intentions. Once Bond meets Tatiana, SMERSH plans to assassinate him and spread false evidence that he was collaborating with the Russians through her. Unaware of the full plan, Tatiana contacts British intelligence, offering to defect and deliver the Spektor, but only if Bond personally comes to Istanbul to collect her. Though wary, the British are unable to resist the Spektor, and Bond is dispatched to Istanbul. There, his contact is Darko Kerim, the head of the British substation. As Bond and Kerim navigate the city, they take precautions to avoid ambushes, and the two become close friends. While visiting a friend of Kerim's, they are attacked by members of a local gang working for the Russians, who have previously attempted to kill Kerim. Bond assists Kerim in eliminating the gang's leader. That evening, when Bond returns to his hotel, he finds Tatiana waiting for him in his bed. Bond intends to take Tatiana and the Spektor back to Britain by plane, but Tatiana insists on traveling by the Orient Express. Captivated by her, Bond agrees and convinces Kerim to join them. While on the train, Kerim spots 3 Russian agents and bribes officials to have 2 of them removed, though he remains uneasy. He suggests that they abandon the train and fly to London instead, but Bond, infatuated with Tatiana, refuses. The next day, Kerim is found dead, along with the body of the 3rd Russian agent. Bond assumes the threat has passed with the death of the agent and decides to continue the journey by train. Bond is then approached by Captain Nash, an MI6 agent, who offers to assist in escorting Tatiana. Bond invites him to stay in their stateroom. However, the next morning, Nash reveals his true identity. He is SMERSH's executioner, Red Grant. Rather than killing Bond immediately, Grant takes pleasure in explaining SMERSH's plan. He will shoot Bond in the heart, plant compromising film footage of Bond and Tatiana in his luggage, and kill Tatiana as well. He also reveals that the Spektor is rigged to explode upon examination. Grant's monologue gives Bond the chance to slip his metal cigarette case between the pages of a book he's holding. When Grant shoots, the bullet strikes the case, but Bond pretends to have been fatally wounded. As Grant steps over him, Bond launches a surprise attack and kills him. Bond and Tatiana flee to Paris, where they encounter Rosa Klebb. She kicks Bond with a poisoned blade, and the novel concludes with Bond sinking to the floor. From Russia with Love solidified Fleming's reputation as a master of spy thrillers. The British Sunday Times aptly described Bond as the embodiment of mid-20th century male ambition. The film adaptation, starring Sean Connery, is widely regarded as one of the greatest Bond films and one of the most influential action movies of all time. Though Fleming considered leaving Bond dead at the novel's conclusion, he ultimately brought the character back in Dr. No. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.